Okay, so to get started, I already popped in some red contacts, which I will link down below, but I popped it into my left eye because that is the same side as Kaneki, and I also painted my nails black just so we are ready and in theme with Kaneki. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I'm in the shade Golden Beige, and the reason why I decided to use this foundation for today's look is that we are doing a lot, and although we are covering most of our face with paint, I do want to create a base, and I just feel like the face paint is just going to apply more smoother if I do have some foundation on, and I just kind of want full coverage, you know, and I know this foundation does that for me, and it does look amazing on camera, so I decided to go with this foundation. I am pushing it into my skin with a flat top kabuki brush. When you use a brush, you're gonna get more coverage. That's why I opted for a brush instead of a beauty blender. For concealer, I'm using the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, and I'm just going to pop this under my eyes because this is pretty much the only place that I need to conceal, because like I said, everywhere else is going to be covered with paint. Honestly, I didn't really need to conceal one of my eyes. I could have just concealed one, but here I am just doing both. I'm pretty much just starting off with my normal base routine. Taking my RCMA No Color Powder, I'm going to use this to set my under eyes and also pretty much the rest of my face, just to make sure everything is set and in place and locked in. Now I'm just taking a nude eyeliner pencil, and this is where I'm going to start mapping out where Kaneki's mask is going. First, I am marking out the band over my forehead and the eye patch over his right eye. Every time I'm looking down to something, I'm looking to my phone with reference pictures, and I highly recommend that when you are doing looks like these, you want to have reference picture on hand. That way you can refer to them and see what it's going to look like on your face. That is just like a very important step. Now I'm taking my black face paint. This one is from Diamond FX, and I'm gonna start filling in the mask. So when you are looking at your reference pictures, you will know where to fill in black. And I feel like doing the black first, you're gonna get a general idea of what everything is going to look like. I am just carefully tracing around the lines and making sure everything is sharp. Take your time with it. Honestly, this look is not too hard. It just takes a long time and there are some very fine details, but I think the overall look is quite easy to do. I'm just going everywhere. I even went inside like my nostril, that way I couldn't see any skin. I'm just taking my Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Swerve, and I'm just going to tightline my lower lash line just because I don't want to put face paint in my waterline. I don't think anybody wants to do that. So I just took eyeliner and filled out everything else. Going back in with my nude eyeliner, I'm just dragging a line from my lip corner all the way out to the end of the mouth, our new mouth. And then just taking the black face paint and going right on top of it. I'm trying to make both sides as even as I can, but if I can't, I mean, no big deal. Just try to get it as even as you can. I like to make the line a little bit thicker. I feel like when it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit easier to make even. And I also like to connect the lines by placing the black face paint in the inner rim of my lip. I think it's better to see what I'm doing than me trying to explain, because I feel like I can't explain anything. And now I'm taking my white face paint, also from Diamond FX as well, and I'm gonna start outlining the shape of my teeth. I'm pretty much doing like an upside down U, and then I like to fill it in. I had a lot of reference photos, and Kaneki's teeth look different in like almost all of them. I guess some were fan art and some were the actual anime. Just try keep them the same size, that way it looks more realistic, similar to Kaneki's. And I just like to go in with a second layer with the face paint just to make them really opaque and very, very white. And now we're just drawing our bottom teeth. I'm trying to line them up with the teeth on top. I feel like doing the bottom teeth was actually like a lot easier than doing the top. So hopefully you guys will find this part a bit easier to do as well. Now I'm just taking the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade ARRIBA, and obviously you could use like, you know, a red face paint, but I decided to use a liquid lipstick and I feel like it works just as well, and it actually just sets, you know, right away because it's a liquid lipstick. The shade of ARRIBA was just perfect for Kaneki's gums. Going into my Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm just taking the matte black shade in the palette, and I'm going to use this to set down my face paint. I just feel like it was a little bit shiny and I just kind of wanted to mattify it, set everything in place so that nothing transfers. Going into my Zoeva Caramel Melange palette, I'm taking the first shade, which is just like a really stark matte white, and I'm going to use this to start tracing out my eye patch. So pretty much in the anime Kaneki, it doesn't really have an X on his eye patch, but when it catches like the light and the shadow, it does create the illusion that there is an X on it. And the square that I'm creating is the edges are quite rounded. It's not like a sharp edge. And then once I got that base kind of down, I'm gonna start mapping out the kind of X across my eye. I feel like this part is the hardest part of the whole look. I don't know if it's just my eye shape and how many folds I have on my eyes, that it was very hard to get the lines straight. And I don't know why, guys, but for some reason I find it so hard to close my right eye and have my left eye open, but it's so easy for me to close my left eye and keep my right eye open. It's so weird, honestly. But after I got that down, I will take some white face paint and just go over the white eyeshadow. We're gonna take the white eyeshadow again and just kind of make some shadows and highlights, so that way everything looks, I don't know, a little bit more realistic. I'm not a pro at this, okay? I was just going by feel here. Taking a cotton bud with some white face paint on it, I'm gonna damp on a little circle dots in each corner. Moving on, I'm taking my black face paint once again on a very small definer brush, and I'm gonna start outlining the teeth. This is going to make it look more like 2D, more animated, and this is where like the whole mouth part really just comes together, well, slowly starts to come together. Back to my white face paint, I'm drawing two little circles on the bridge of my nose, kind of opposite of each other, and then I'm going to draw two straight lines from those dots up to the wrap around our forehead. I'm taking that same Zoeva white eyeshadow and I'm gonna start highlighting the mask. So where I mainly highlighted was the bridge of my nose and around the mouth area, just kind of outlining it with the white shadow, focusing it very dark closest towards the actual mask and then blending it out. So it kind of looks like it's more, I guess, I don't know, 3D. And I also like to shadow just a little bit around my cheeks. This is a shadow that was created with a lot of the anime looks, like these kind of areas. And I also like to hit it in the middle of my forehead on the black head wrap. And then just to intensify the white a little bit more, I also like to take my white face paint and just go over the white shadow. Taking this dark red shadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm gonna start shading out the teeth, making it look more like gums in a sense. I didn't really have like much of a reference photo for this part, so I feel like it was kind of rough. So if you guys have like a reference photo of like you know, gums, it'll probably be a little bit more helpful than looking at what I'm doing. I just kind of went underneath all the teeth with this dark red shadow. You could use a brown if you don't have a shade like this. So I mixed my black and white face paint together to create this kind of silver gray color, and I'm just going to create the zip between the teeth, and that is going right between the black line that we first created, and then just creating a little zip. I feel like my zip was very weak. I didn't know how to make it look better, but you know, I tried. Okay, now we're gonna focus on our ghoul eye. I am gonna start drawing out my brows, and as you can see, I'm drawing them quite straight. They don't really have an arch. I first just like to take a brow pencil to outline it, and then filling it in with some black eyeshadow, the same one from the Jaclyn Hill palette. And then also using the same black eyeshadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette, I am just going to smack this onto my lid, blend it up into my crease. This is our lid shade, our transition shade. It's just going all over. Honestly, it can be quite messy because, I mean, Kaneki, you know, he's having a rough time, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm also just taking that same Colourpop cream gel liner in Swerve just to tightline my bottom waterline, just to make sure everything is really nice and dark and black and smoky. And using my black face paint, once again, I'm gonna start dragging the black paint down towards my neck, going to my chest. And it does depend what you are wearing for Kaneki's outfit. I just decided to wear a white collared shirt, so I only needed to paint it down towards where the collared shirt would button up to. But Kaneki's mask in the anime does go all the way down into his clothing. And I also did paint my ears, but I noticed that Kaneki's mask doesn't actually cover his ears. His ears is still his, you know, obviously his skin. It's not black. I ended up painting both my ears, and I don't know why, I felt like that looks a little bit better. I just feel like my ears being, you know, my skin color, it just kind of popped out a little bit too much, but it's honestly up to you. You don't have to paint your ears. If you want to stay more true to Kaneki in the anime, he didn't have his ears painted, so just FYI. And just for fun, I took that dark red shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I just started drawing squiggly lines from my left ghoul eye, kind of creating veins. But Kaneki in the anime did not have these veins popping up, but I thought, you know, why not? Just a little extra touch. And this, guys, is me as Kaneki Ken from Tokyo Ghoul. Ever since I watched this anime, I knew that I wanted to create this look. I love it so much and I'm so proud of it, and I hope you guys like it. I know it's something different, you know, it's not for everyone, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun filming it. I'm going to list and link all of my inspiration and also my reference pictures as well. But yeah, that is everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!